My name is Connor Byrne, and today's podcast is a detailed report on what's going on in my life, how it could affect or impact you. Ultimately, how can we learn from our challenges, as this podcast is about facing challenge and moving forward from it in a positive direction. So I think it's important to detail my story and to, it is important to remember that no one story is all that special, but if we are able to pinpoint what's impactful in each challenging situation, we can help learn from those challenges and grow from them. So I just wanted to sit down for 10 or 15 minutes to just chat, fireside chat. I'm here if you're listening on the podcast and you're not listening on YouTube or something, I'm in my basement. It's kind of a good impromptu YouTube studio. But in this circumstance, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't waking anybody, because it is late at night. It is 11:15. I've had a full day of training, a full day of work. The best way to start things out is I have been on a professional journey starting back in September. During my birthday, I got word that I was going to begin work in a transportation company. And it was a really big opportunity because it was a bigger job. It was a good, it was like kind of like it checked all the boxes, right? If you grow up, white class, middle America type deal, the goal is have the salary job with the benefits, with, people that you know, that you love, or that you grow, that have it was an opportunity to really grow my roots in Michigan. And so I took the job just after my birthday. I started working, and I was really excited to make an impact, to really see if I could be this leader that, I spent a lot of time researching on and spent a lot of time trying to self-develop myself into. And I don't know, I was super stoked. So I took that enthusiasm, went into the job, and a few months in, I just had this headache. I don't know if people have gotten headaches before. It's not like a migraine. It's kind of like almost like your brain perpetually itching almost. Like I don't know how to describe it other than that. Like it's just this nagging pain, just on your prefrontal cortex just area where you just felt like there was a weight. And it started developing, I just felt this weight after 3 or 4 months, and I was in it to be the best that I could be at my job. But I also knew that my body was giving out to a certain extent. And I think the best way to make the long and short of it is I faced a moment where I had a chosen path. I chose to go down a certain road. I chose to make certain decisions and to work with, just work in a certain place at a certain time in a certain industry. And the stars aligned, but sometimes it's not the shape that you wanted it to be. It's one of those things where, everything seemed right until I faced a moment where I had a panic attack every day for 7 days in a row. And I knew that wasn't okay. And so my roommate, bless her heart, really helped navigate those challenges, because I've never had, I've had a panic attack before, but I basically had 7 in a row. And I knew that was I'm done. And I here's something we can grow from. I thought it was just this emotional response that I had to having these panic attacks was just this invalidate the feelings, live in the denial. Hey, I'm having these panic attacks, but you know what? It's my fault. I should be dealing with this better. I shouldn't be, whether it's bringing this home or like having this way in my mind, I shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. This is my problem. Take ownership of the problem. But what I realized is that if you're feeling something, it means there's something there. And if you're in your life right now and you are in a situation where something doesn't feel right, if you feel it in your gut, you feel it in your chest, like kind of like in your diaphragm, if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Your body was designed for primal intuition to make intuitive decisions. And something that I'm learning along the way in my research of how do we make good decisions. But if it feels wrong, you should really look into that, because it probably means something's wrong. Whether it's your health, if you feel like there's something wrong, go check it out. If you feel like someone is treating you wrong, you should probably check it out. You should probably voice your concern. If something feels wrong professionally, talk it out. State what is causing problems or causing challenges or causing discontent, for lack of a better term. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Should probably like put that up like on a poster or something, or maybe somebody's already done that. But yeah. So around Thanksgiving, things got really heavy, and as I moved into Christmas time and the New Year, it was a very bittersweet time because I still had a job, but I was in purgatory. I thought I was going to be somewhere for a long time, 2-3 years. And I realized that, I'm just stuck in this like in between space professionally. But if there's something I learned from that as well, is if you are in a space where you're not where you want to be and you see somewhere that you want to go, then you're actually in a great spot. You're in the perfect place to create immense change in your life in a meaningful, positive way. It's almost that like you can only go up from here type of thing. But if you can, and it's something that really helped me shape how I see challenging situations in my life now at this new position, is before I get to that is just, if you can accept the present, you can be present in how you're feeling, what you're feeling, and when you feel it. Like if you can accept the present moment for what it is, you can accept the challenge that you're facing, and you can get really curious about it. If you can accept it, now ponder it. I accept that this thing went wrong. Well, how did it go wrong? Maybe I can do something to make sure it doesn't happen like that again. If we can make right on our past, we can make right on our future decisions. How can we make a life for ourselves that serves us? And it starts with making the decisions based on the things that didn't serve us. So as I was sitting in this in-between space, I really tried to build relationships like I had at this job already, but I learned to build relationships in such a big way, and I value relationships so much differently now, where maybe you're someone who really, better way to say it, I am somebody who really has a hard time with relationships because I value them so highly. Everybody that I meet, I'm like, this is a great person. I immediately think the good in someone, and very few times do I actually do more due diligence before I make that type of recommendation to my inner trust. I see someone, I feel something, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a good guy to have in my corner. So whenever I meet someone, whenever I work with someone, whenever I'm friends with someone, I really value that relationship very highly. And yet, like, my actions sometimes don't parallel that. They don't mirror that intention. In that, no one's ever going to be a perfect friend. No one's ever going to be a perfect professional contact, a professional network contact. No one's ever going to be perfect. And I think I always view myself as like, oh, I got to be perfect in order to be acceptable. And that's probably some deep-rooted thing that I got to figure out on my own. But if I'm going to move past that type of situation, that type of mentality, that type of personality trait, that characteristic, in order to move past that, I just have to keep doing. I have to keep trying new things. I have to keep on trying. The only person that's failed is the person who stopped trying. So I just stopped trying to be perfect, and I just started trying to be someone who spoke their mind, someone who listened more than he spoke, and someone that could hear problems and challenges in others, from others, and wait my turn for when those challenges become questions from someone else to me. No one wants to hear the answer to their problems being shouted at them. They're going to ask for the answer. And that's when your advice can fall on on listening ears. So I just started building relationships, started talking to people, and being just very casual and very, I received so much. I'm so grateful because I received so much input from people that I've met throughout my entire life in the process of looking for a new position, looking for a new industry. I didn't realize how many people I had met in my life that were willing to lend a hand when I wasn't in the right place. And what came from that was an exceptional opportunity to, I would consider that I am now in a place that I've been wanting to be in since I was 18, 19 years old. When I first entered college, like, I thought I was going to finish college in 3 years, and then like 3 or 4 years, and then be at a company like this. The company I'm at now, the job that I'm doing, the people that I work with, the orientation of the company in the industry, just everything that I do day to day, though there are many challenges, there are many consistent challenges that I face every day, that maybe I don't want to face for my entire life. What I benefit from the position that I'm in now is I very, very clearly see how I can separate my passions from my core skills and capabilities. What does that mean? It means I can separate a job from a passion, and also be able to weight the value of those things pretty equally. So the last piece that I want to touch on here is, you have to, in life, I've experienced times where I have not enjoyed what I did, so I did things that I enjoyed doing in order to, like, block out what's happening. I was in multiple jobs that I didn't like doing, so I did things that I did like to do, and I actually placed my trust, my character, my personality on the things that I did outside of work, because those were the things that really made me happy. Because I didn't have to be just so exceptional at the jobs that I was doing before, my 25th birthday. I just didn't have to do things to such an exceptional level. I just had to be, there and just be the cog in the machine. I am now in a position where I'm someone who I'm not in a machine. I'm actually somewhere where my input is valued, and I'm somewhere where I need to be at the top of my game all the time. So I asked myself, I was in the shower and I asked myself, am I a digital consultant or am I an athlete? And then I immediately asked the question, why am I asking this question? Because can't you just be both? And I believe that answer is the truth, that you can be both. It's kind of like being a student athlete in college. How do you separate being good at something that makes you happy, and be as good as you can be at something that makes you happy, and also be as good as you can be at something that's going to bring you fulfillment in the future, this delayed gratification of a career that's worthwhile. So I'm learning that. That's the place that I'm in now, is how can I be a good athlete? How can I manage being a good athlete, living on my own with someone new in a new place, and be exceptional at my job? And I'm learning that the things that I'm feeling now, I think I wish I had felt years ago. I wish I had felt this at 18, 19 years old. But instead I'm experiencing it at 25, and that's good. It's always good. It just takes time to make sense of what the hell is going on. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by something right now, if you're feeling like you're not in the right place at the right time, or your head's just spinning and it can't stop, then maybe it's time to look at that as just chatter. Let it dissipate, then start listening. And what I heard when I started listening to myself is there are many facets to us as people in the scope of our life. You could be a mother, you could be a father, you could be a parent, you could be an athlete, you could be an engineer, you could be an artist, and you could be all those things under one roof, in one body, but you just can't be those all at the same time. So how do we manage the context shift? How do we make decisions as one version of ourselves and separate that from another version of ourselves? I think that's an important thing that I'm pondering right now, is how do I make decisions and make the context, how do I shift context from being a digital consultant at 4:30 and then at 5 o'clock saying, how can I do well during my training session today? What can I do to manage this athletic situation where I could get more speed or more strength? How do I be my own coach when my day job is to be the coach to somebody else's website, to be the analyst and to have the answers to something that's completely opposite-ended to a physical thing? It's a digital thing. That context shift is just something that I have to learn, and it's a skill. So my closing thoughts are, if you're feeling overwhelmed in your life, I could not put a price on how valuable it is, invaluable to be adaptable. And it's okay to not be perfect. In fact, it's important to fail as often as possible, to know how not to do something in order to know how to do something. It's important to ask questions all the time, to be curious all the time, and to be welcoming of the answers that you might receive from those questions. And if there's something that resonates with the podcast, is to be persistent. You're going to face so many moments in life where you want to quit. And it's in that moment that you want to quit that you're only at 60% of the capacity. You're only at 60% of your human ability in whatever that you're supposedly failing at. I found that insight from, I think, Muhammad Ali. stated how he would only start counting how many crunches he was doing until after he started feeling the soreness or feeling the pain or feeling like he was going to fail. As soon as he was going to fail, then he started counting how many crunches he would do. And I think it's important to apply that concept to whatever profession or whatever athletic feat you are trying to accomplish. The human mind and the human will is so exceptionally good at its job. So remember to trust this process. Be persistent. Trust yourself. Don't quit. Things aren't always going to be perfect. And that's okay. In fact, it's good. Keeps you on your toes. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And never quit on each other. The world needs people right now. The world needs you. The world needs your input, your impact, your voice. So don't be afraid to share it. Until next time. This is I Will Not Quit. My name is Connor. This is The Journal. And I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, whenever it is. Have a better one today, tomorrow, and the next.